20 years without me. I remember 20 years ago, it was shortly after I coached Mitch Ball, and I had a meeting with Rabbi Cohen at Park Synagogue. And I know that Sam blames Rabbi Cohen for getting involved with Project Love. And he just said totally. And Rabbi Cohen said to me, Muszynski, I think you have a good idea. I think you should call Sam Miller. Well, little did I know that he called in advance. He told Sam that I was crazy, but that he should help me. And the rest is history. But in saying a few words about Sam, I just want to reflect a little bit about nature in Ohio. Coach Tressel now, President Tressel of Youngstown State University, I mean no disrespect to the Buckeyes, and you'll see why I say that. But you know, there are lots of nuts in the state of Ohio. And I want to talk about one of them. And that is the horse chestnut. Now, the horse chestnut is a cousin to the buckeye. If you look at the leaves of the trees, they're very similar. And I realized this last fall. It was the weekend after Sam had his terrible accident at Tower City. I was very, very upset. I know I told Eleanor the whole story of my discovery the following week. And Susan and I are walking around our neighborhood on a beautiful fall Sunday. And since I've been a kid, during the fall, I'll pick up buckeyes because I think buckeyes are so beautiful. Well, I saw another tree right next to the buckeye tree, and it was even more inviting than the buckeye. Now, if you think about the buckeye is smooth on the outside and it's smooth on the inside. Right, Coach? Okay. I guess that's why Ohio State likes the buckeye. But the horse chestnut tree was so inviting. It's probably the prettiest tree that I've ever seen. I went right up to it, and I see these horse chestnuts laying on the ground. And unlike the buckeye, they're prickly on the outside. And I open them up, and it's beautiful on the inside. And I turned to my wife, Sam, and I said, "That's Sam Miller. He is a horse chestnut. He's prickly on the outside, but he's smooth and beautiful on the inside." And that is the advantage that we have of Sam Miller and that we all can aspire to. Now, in all of our hearts, there is a neighborhood of make-believe that inspires us to be kind and caring and accessible to all people. And that is Mr. Miller's neighborhood. I believe that Mr. Miller's neighborhood is not only a physical neighborhood here in Northeast Ohio, but it's a spiritual neighborhood. It's those elements of the heart that inspires us to be our better selves. And that's what, Sam, you've inspired in me, and I know you've inspired in all of us. And just in closing, I want to tell 3 brief stories of Sam. Number 1 was his conversation with the pastor at the Old Stone Church. Now, this was related to me by somebody else, that shortly after they moved into Tower City, Sam is looking out his window, and he notices that the clock of the Old Stone Church is running late, running behind. So he calls the pastor and he says, "Pastor, you know, I'm looking out my window and I see that your clock is behind, it's not on time." And he said, "Mr. Miller, I've been meaning to call you. I look at your clock on Tower City every day and it's running behind too." And so Sam said, "Yeah, but I can only see your clock." Now, the second story is Sam's relationship with Gordon Heffer. Gordon was the longtime advisory board of Project Love, advisory board chair of Project Love, and Sam calls me in one day, and he says, "You know Gordon Heffer?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "You know, Gordon has this prayer breakfast every year, and I want to be more like Gordon. I want to do a breakfast or a lunch that's free to everybody and that inspires goodness. And that is how this event took off. It was from that desire. Now, I mention that not only as background, but as evidence of Sam's humility. For Sam, who has been the leader, or one of the top leaders of our business community and our philanthropic community for so many years, to say, I want to be more like somebody else, that really is a tremendous sign of humility, and it's a sign of Sam, because Sam is always looking to better himself on the inside and to be a better leader in our community to all of us as well. And then the last is an experience that I had with Sam about 3 weeks before he fell at Tower City. It was about the 10th time that I had been thrown out of his office. Many of you have had similar experiences, I'm sure. And that was always a loving event because he threw me out for the right reasons, and that enabled me to improve myself as well. A couple days later, Sam Elmore calls me and says, Sam wants to see you. So I come in, and Sam says, you know the incident that we had a few days ago? And I said, yes, Sam. He said, I want you to know that I owe you one big apology. And then he gave me a check. And I thought to myself, you know, that's the way I want to be as well. I want to be humble enough as an individual that I can say I'm sorry. And to me, that really is the sign of a great leader. And it's an example that we don't see too often enough in our community. And then I just want to conclude by all of us that have called Sam, have heard him say, hello? And really, it's as though that hello is coming out of that handset and welcoming us. And Sam, I want you to know that in everything that we've done together, in all of the goodness that you've shared with me, and that I hope I've shared with you, and that you've shared with our community, you got me at hello. Thank you.